Okay, so we talked about sunrise, sunset project notes in class, and somehow that video didn't get included with our solutions for the book homework. So I'm adding this video to your group of videos for class if you were at home and missed it live. What we're looking at right now are 4 examples of rough drafts that students submitted. And what we talked about in class was the idea of what it means to be sunrise, sunset, like what we were actually looking for, the context of our project. So we started with thinking about February and how much daylight there was, not really referencing these graphs very much, but thinking, okay, look outside, what do we expect for sunlight today? So in February, we would expect that we have daylight until like 5:30 or 6, and tomorrow we might have a few more minutes. In a week, we might be able to walk the dog a little bit later because we might have a little bit more light. And next month, we might have a little bit more light, and how that was gradual. So we talked about daylight in context, so that these numbers have some meaning for us. So daylight in context, that in February we have some amount of light quantity, but in March we would have light longer, and that this was gradual. So we had this discussion in class, and you missed it. I'm sorry about that, but I just wanted to cover it here. So looking at these graphs and the idea of daylight being gradual, what do we see that might be wrong? And making the list of data, you may not have recognized what was wrong, but now that we've graphed it, maybe you look at B as an outlier, for example, and think, well, that would be odd. So I did not necessarily crop what month it was, but we could go January, February, March, April, May, June, July, August. Why in August would we have the same amount of daylight as January? Okay, that seems wrong. And now that we have a graph and we're putting in context, then probably we need to go back and check this data. Maybe we need to check this data and this data. Okay, so now that we put it in context, then we have something to go back and look at. Maybe for graph A, maybe we look at this. Maybe this pointy up part is weird. Maybe this. So it gave us things to look at. And we did this project so far without having actual in-class instructions. So I think you did a fantastic job, and these are not bad examples. They're just regular examples. This is what you do with data is you test it out, look at it. The visual gives you another thing to look at. So don't be alarmed if this is your graph. You weren't necessarily graded on the correctness yet, because you may not have been able to think about what the context of the situation is. And that's one thing that I want you to develop in this class. So now we have something else to look at. We could go back and look at our data. And if this is any of yours, or you're looking at yours and realize you need to make some corrections for the actual project, I would like corrected lists of data. So I would like your data, and I would like it to be corrected. Okay, so if you have one of these situations, you can take your existing data, and if you had it went from 9 hours down to 10 hours and then to 8 hours, and this is wrong, I just want you to mark it out and fix it and say this should have been 8.5 or whatever the actual data is. You don't need to rewrite it all. You can just correct it, okay? And that's perfectly fine, because what you're going to display is going to be a graph that's beautiful. Your data is a backup supporting work, and so it doesn't need to look perfect, except it needs to be corrected. So I will want, when you turn in your actual projects, the real project, I will need your data. And I will need your graph to be beautiful, and we'll talk about that in just a second. So that is part of your stuff that you're going to do. And this is all turned in like on real paper, okay? So real paper. If you are an at-home student, just like you come and take tests at school, at some point you'll need to come in and turn this in real life paper for me. So I hope these give you some idea of things you might want to correct. We also talked about gradual. So if we look at these, we can see that this kind of follows the dots and is not as severe as A. So A worries me a little bit, even though I just asked you to do 12 points of data. I didn't ask you to do, I mean, this represents a year of sunlight from January to December. I didn't ask you to do 365 calculations. But perhaps if we think about this date, which is probably June 21st, because these were all June dates, I mean 21st dates, not June dates. Probably on June 20th or June 18th, you didn't have this drastic reduction of daylight. If I had asked you to calculate the days right around June 21st, probably would have been pretty close to that peak time. So maybe this isn't quite so severe. Maybe it's not maybe this round, but it has less pointiness to it. Because in context, in real life, on June 18th, you notice you have a really long day, and the next day is still a really long day. You don't notice on the 21st that it's the peak, the extreme maximum value of daylight in real life. It seems like these are really long days in June. And then July, they probably still seem very long. So it may actually look more like this. Okay. So something else to consider in context. Let's look at another set of graphs. So these graphs. So these students read the notes and they wondered to themselves, hey, should I connect my dots? And so they didn't in the rough draft. But I would argue that the last graphs we looked at actually made more sense. Maybe looking at this graph B, I can't tell what's supposed to be happening because it's just a lot of dots. When we talked about E in class, everybody was really clear right away that this looked like the average or the mean graph. And I love that everybody was able to pick up on that. But maybe we're not trying to find the average daylight hours of states in the US. Maybe we're actually just trying to compare the red dots and the blue dots and the green dots and be able to see the different cities and their daylight hours. So probably I would say this shows great data, but maybe needs to be connected for each city. And I kind of hinted at that when I said there needed to be a legend, and that legend would also be because we would connect these dots. Okay. So I would suggest you connect them. So this is the same thing, connect the dots, connect the dots. For C, again, you may not have known whether you were supposed to connect the dots or not, but I would say that now that we've done a rough draft for C, maybe this is too much information and it's difficult to compare them because even though they're in different colors, we just can't see them as clearly as if they were separate lines, as we saw in this last group of pictures. So we can definitely see, okay, Alaska has more daylight than the other cities with these graphs, okay? So I might redo this when we do the real version with connected dots lines instead of like a bar graph. This is almost like a bar graph. And then D is sort of a combination. It is like we see the dots, but they didn't use the dots. So this is more like a scatter plot where they were trying to find the best fit line in between. But again, I would argue that the real data is what we should be graphing because the scatter plot's supposed to sort of predict what's going to happen, and we are actually graphing real data for the real daylight hours. And although we didn't again graph 365 days, I think the real data connected would show better what's happening with our graph. Also, it also sort of seems to predict that the light is going to turn sharply on this day and then turn around. And I don't think in June you really notice that the next day you have less light. So I would say a little bit softer graph where the dots are actually connected would be better choice for this one. Okay, so then we get to some graphs that I think would be what you would be aiming for. So these show good data that doesn't randomly have a lot less light in August, for example. Um, they're gradual, they're kind of smooth. You can see a little bit of curve here, which is nice. We did talk about how this represented December and this represented January, and they don't end in the same place. And we did talk about how December is the winter solstice. So it is the day where we have the least amount of light. It makes sense that December would be lower than January. So again, we're putting things in context so that we understand what it is that we graph. Both classes decided that these looked a lot like sharks. And I hope that not everybody will decide to use art that's sharks for all of their pictures. You're supposed to, when you do your final version, which is going to be on a regular 8.5 by 11 piece of paper, it should be an unlined piece of paper, okay? Because we talked about scale, and part of that final draft should be to have some artistic quality to it. So I don't know what artistic qualities you have. I don't have many. I mean, I might go with the shark theme just because it looks like a shark. You could definitely go, okay, this is sunrise sunset project. So maybe I want to use yellows and oranges and reds to pick the sunrise or sunset here in your drawing. But it's going to be unlined paper, but you do have to use the scale that we talked about in the Zoom meeting. So the scale here going this way between months should be, we decided 1.5 centimeters. So going this way, you have 12. You can start January at the origin, or you can start January right next to it. It doesn't have to be exactly at the origin here for January. This one is, and it can be. You could start January here. It's up to you. But you should be able to write the months at the bottom. So maybe you have like a 1-inch margin at the bottom where you write the months in. And then we decided that going vertically, we were going to do 1 centimeter because Alaska had such, oops, I just moved the whole graph. Alaska had such high daylight hours that we needed 1 centimeter to go all the way up to the amount of daylight hours that Alaska had. So your final version might look more like this, where you have unlined paper. And I suggested maybe if you wanted to do your scale like graph paper, make your own with lines that are in this scale right here, 1 centimeter. So the y-axis is 1 centimeter and the x-axis is 1.5 centimeters. And we want everybody to have the same scale because this is going to be one giant project when it's all put together. So each individual will add to the whole. You will put somewhere at the top of yours, maybe in your 1-inch top margin. I'm just making this up. I don't know that this is the year 2015, but whatever your year is, need to go at the top. So we will put this together as one big project at the end, and so the scale, them all being the same, is important. When you turn in your final draft, your one piece of paper, it doesn't have to be white, it just has to be aligned. So if you wanted to use yellow paper and then draw on it, or blue paper, as long as I can see what's going on and you have your legend for the different places, that would be good. You could make yours a map in the background because we're talking about different places. So it's up to you what your artistic quality is. The artistic quality is not based on if you're a fantastic artist. This is tumbling, it's not grading this. And I'm not an artist. So that it just has to have it needs to look like a project at the end, okay? But it can be a colored paper if you like, just not graph paper because this may not be the same scale that we used, that we decided together in our Zoom. So let's see what else. I need in your final draft, I need the display version, but I also need the supporting. So not necessarily on your graph, but other pages that include the supporting documents. So they include all of your calculations, They include if you were able to print your other year's data, then include that. If you didn't print it, but you wrote it down and it's part of your calculations, and that's perfectly fine. So that's for me to aid in grading. And then the graph should be display quality. Okay, so in summary, this project is due on Thursday. This page is totally messy. I hope you followed all the things that you need to have. Please check with your friends or check with me in class or email me if you have any questions about what's due. But I did want to go over these examples with you since we talked about them in class. All right, thanks, guys.